Hey, Jim Hoffman here for EMS Office Hours. This is your Monday Minutes. Today I want to do one of these anatomy sort of videos that I've done in the past and talk a little bit about rib anatomy because, you know, you get a lot of confusion when it comes to things like false ribs, floating ribs, you know, and what they look like, where they're located. So I'm going to peel this back here a little bit and get a closer look at the rib cage. Now, the first 7 ribs, the upper 7 ribs, they're all attached to the sternum. Okay, and you know, you think about the ribs themselves; they're elastic, right? And this allows the movement when you're inhaling and when you're exhaling. Now, the 8th, 9th, and the 10th ribs might be also called the false ribs. Okay, and these join together with the costal cartilages of the first 7 ribs. Okay, now you also have the 11th and 12th ribs. Those might also be called false ribs, but more than likely you're more familiar with them being called floating ribs. Okay, because they don't have any sort of anterior connection to the sternum. I'm going to turn this around here. You can get a look at these floating ribs from the side and the back. Okay, so just kind of quick overview of what they look like, you know, beneath the muscle and the skin, and get a little bit of a closer look here at them, and also to sort of point out these floating ribs. Okay, and just as a reminder about, you know, how the ribs can be elastic. Okay, when you talk about their movement when inhaling and exhaling. Also, don't forget, you know, every rib will have those spaces in between. Those are those intercostal spaces that you might have heard of. Okay, when you're doing needle decompressions and all, and you know, each of these spaces all contain muscles, nerves, and arteries. They're just put this back here. You'll see, okay, on top of that, you know, you can see the muscles, the nerves, and the arteries. So you got to be careful and know what the right landmarks when you're doing needle decompression. But we'll get into that in the different Monday Minutes. Okay, so just remember, there's 12 ribs on each side for a total of 24. Okay, that's important, especially when you're taking exams and whatnot, how many ribs there are in the human body. Okay, guys, I hope you can use these Monday Minutes real quick today. Quick overview about the rib cage and the rib anatomy. You know, so I hope you can use these and maybe remember some of these little tidbits as far as false ribs and floating ribs and the amount of ribs that are in the human body, and maybe they'll help you on your next exam or even when you're doing your next documentation. If you have some minutes of your own, be sure to send them over to me. It's jhoff@emsseo.com. And until next week, as always, stay safe.